Hello, Marvel fans, comic geeks, and all nerds in between. My name is Megan, and I'm here today because I just finished watching The Punisher: One Last Kill, the special presentation all about The Punisher, and I want to talk about it with you. I literally just finished watching, and I am excited to talk about it. I've already seen some people say they did not like it. I don't know why. I really dug it. I thought it was very Punisher. I thought it was fantastic. I thought John Bernthal absolutely knocked it out of the park. But before we get into it, why don't we talk about what happened? So we see Frank in a very bad headspace. That's usually, right? That's usually his normal basic flow. But we see him, he's working out, drinking heavily, and just all around not great. Um, After we see him going through what looks like he's working through trauma, we see a homeless man outside who was just the bee's knees. He was super sweet. But then we see that his dog gets taken out by some thugs that seem to work for the Nucci's, or at least are let loose because the Nucci family has been taken out. So basically, it looks like the whole town is a war zone. There's no consequences to no actions. There is nothing but violence. Police cars are on fire. This whole town is just an absolute dumpster fire. And we just saw a dog die. And I don't know about you guys, but that killed me. But what we do also see is Curtis is back. Kinda. Everything we see from Punisher, we see figments of his imagination. We see his old war buddies. We see Curtis, who is yelling in his face or making jokes. Everything we see is just him working through this trauma. But what is going on outside of his trauma? The Nucci family has been slaughtered, and the Punisher is being blamed for their deaths. All of them except Ma Nucci. This reminds me very much of the recent comic run, Daredevil Punisher, The Devil's Trigger, #1 by Jimmy Palmiotti, I think. If you haven't checked it out, it's really good. It's a limited series. Very good. But, without Daredevil in this show. That's what it reminds me of. The Nucci's are in it. Her family gets taken out one by one. And the Punisher is absolutely to blame for that. So besides that, we move on, and Frank is still going through it. He visits his family's graves, which I personally have found that's not the thing to do when you are struggling so bad, but whatever helps. He is trying to take himself out permanently. This is very reminiscent of the show. It has the same vibes from the Punisher series, which I really dug. And I think that that's the perfect way to portray the Punisher. So he ends up not taking his life. He actually, another figment of his imagination, he sees his daughter, and she disappears lickety split, and he is just a mess. He is in ruins, as he should be. But it's also a good time to point out that the acting is absolutely impeccable. Fantastic. 10 out of 10, no notes. So Frank makes his way back to his apartment, and Ma Nucci finds Frank at his place. Ma Nucci is the mother, the matriarch of the Nucci family. Her entire family died, just like Frank's entire family died. And part of me, maybe it's just me, but I thought, is this another figment of his imagination? Is this really happening? But then the other part was like, did he kill them? Was it someone dressed as the Punisher? Maybe I've watched too much Daredevil Born Again. I don't know. So Ma Nucci blames Frank, which apparently was the right call. She put a bounty on his head, and at 6:47, his location will be shared. 6:47 is the exact time her youngest son was taken out. So she is one for theatrics, if I could say that. He goes back to his apartment. He knows things are about to go down. And with more figments of his imagination, Karen makes a cameo. Karen Page. I feel like Marvel is really pushing the whole Frank and Karen thing, which is fine, and it was used really well here. But dang, she's a busy woman. So all of these ragamuffins, these thugs, break into his apartment building. They are tearing down doors. They are setting the place on fire. And Frank is let loose on the ones that are causing terror in the city. And it is just really good to have you back, Frank, because some of these action scenes are so beautifully done. They're so choreographed so well, and it's only ones that you could get with the Punisher. So hats off to that creative team. So at one point, Frank is let so loose that he even kills someone with a pen, saving Bubbles' wife and daughter. His name is Dre, but he's Bubbles to me, and probably anyone else who has watched The Wire. The daughter, Charlie, Bubbles' daughter, gives him a drawing it's a beautiful flower and it reminds him of his daughter, so he goes to visit her grave once again. That's when he decides to keep living. And we hear the iconic one batch, two batch, penny and dime. That's when you know things are about to get crazy. And like, not crazy, but it shows that the Punisher is back, which he is. In the next scene, we see him back in all of his skull glory, keeping the city safe. And what's the best part is that the dog gets his justice in the end. And that's all we can ask for in this day and age. So, this was rated R for many very good reasons. At one point, I had to look away. I don't do good with blood or gore, but my lord, they went for it. It was fantastic. It was so much fun. I mean, it was very, very emotionally driven. And I think this works really well because a lot of people I've seen ask today and like the last week, and really like as of a few moments ago, I've seen a lot of people say, why do we need this? What is the point? Well, Frank Castle's going to be in Spider Man Brand New Day. If you'll remember, Frank Castle, the last time we saw him was Daredevil Born Again, and he was breaking out of a cage that he was put in. You can't really jump from that to Spider Man Brand New Day without anything in between. I mean, it just really wouldn't make much sense. This was how we found him working through his trauma, going through things that so many people experience, like PTSD from the military, PTSD from losing his family right in front of him. And we see him fully take on the Punisher role by the end of it. And as we saw in Spider Man Brand New Day, he's just cruising in the daytime. He's doing his thing. And plus, he actually knows Spider Man. So, of course, he's going to be someone who is saving the city, fighting crime, doing what I guess a hero, but he's more of a vigilante or an anti hero, I would say. So, yeah, we do see them together. It's going to be very fun to see them together because I already like the chemistry they have. It's very much. It feels very reminiscent of the comics, especially one comic that's coming out tomorrow that I got to review early, which is Spectacular Spider-Man Brand New Day. So head to your local comic shops and pick that up. And you can read my review on nerdinitiative.com. With that being said, that was my breakdown of The Punisher One Last Kill. That was my review. I didn't really have any theories, I guess. My theories are never right anyways. It doesn't matter. So yeah, be sure to like and subscribe, and have a marvelous day.